What's going on, everybody? It is Thursday night, which means it's Master Chat night. I'm Jeff with the Teach Better team. I've got our special guest, Brandon Beck, here, who just moderated an awesome Master Chat. His fingers are falling off, as are all of ours right now. We're excited to get into it. He's got something special lined up for us right off the bat, too, so we're going to be back in a couple seconds. Stick with us here. All right, welcome, Brandon, my dude. Great chat. I hope you noticed. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm representing.
That is an awesome feature.
It is, and I need you to understand that, like, I've had a shirt, a long sleeve shirt, and a sweatshirt on all day because it's freezing down here, and I'm like, you know what? Goosebumps, get out of here. I'm dealing with it because I got to put it on. So I'm like,
I appreciate
I'm cold.
that.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm cold right now for you, my friend. So, how you feeling, man? How are you?
I'm good.
We were chatting just briefly before. It's been a day.
It's been a day. What a day!
But a heck of a chat. Do you want to go right into? You said you have like a special treat. Are we going right into this?
Let me lead into it. Why don't I lead into it? Let me just talk a little bit about my day for a second, because
let's hear about it. Tell us the journey of your day. It's been one.
I think everybody had quite a historical day in history. Such a unique day. A challenging day, rewarding day in some ways as well. But yeah, 8:10, I got in my car, drove to work, had a phone call at 8:10 with the staff. Our principal had us all on the phone call. We had an opportunity to everybody just kind of had a chance to air out. There were tears. It was intense. And then I got off and I got on the Teach Better, the round table that you had this morning, which is fantastic. And just, listening to Neil, and I believe it was Heydrich, and I don't remember the other person you had on, but it was
Chris and Ray were here with Heydrich and Neil.
Of course, Ray.
She was here too. Yeah.
But I watched that, and then right after I got off that, my students walked into class. So it was, a lot of, as soon as they came in, it was just, our school gave us the grace to just do whatever we needed to do today with the students. And I teach fifth grade. I teach 10 and 11-year-old kids. And I was feeling really uncomfortable. And I kind of dove into uncomfortable conversation with my students, and it was very rewarding. It makes you think, right? All these kids that we have had in our schools for the past 8 months, they really have endured a serious amount of stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, I was just impressed. I was impressed with my students. I was impressed with them. I was impressed with, the fact that we were able to get through the day. It was exhausting. And then I finished up school, and then I had a session with 10 teachers talking about social emotional learning, which was incredible. I ran home to eat dinner quick. I came back. I got here, and I had something planned this whole time, because I was like, I'm going to do a special thing. And then the events happened today, and I was like, well, I still think we need this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song on my guitar. That is my special surprise. You get the live version.
I'm so excited right now. Like, I can't,
live version of me. I don't know if it's any good. But this is a song.
Yeah, we'll see if I'm still excited after you're done.
Listen, you can hang up. Everybody can turn off their chats, if that's the case.
No. Everyone turn it up right now. I'm going to say it right now. I want to make sure that everyone in the chat understands what needs to happen right now is we don't have lighters, so we need green hearts as this is going. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, go ahead, sir.
So I'm going to serenade you, Jeff, which it might be awkward, but I think we'll be all right. But this is a song that I sing all the time in the morning. I sit in my hallways and I play this song to my students as they walk in. And I'm going to give you the short version, because we're not going to be on for an hour and a half. But this is a short version. But this is a song that is also perfectly fitting for today. And it's a song by Andy Grammer called "Don't Give Up." So I'm going to do a short version. I hope I don't butcher it. All right, it's coming. So it's called Don't Give Up on Me. And I will stay. I will fight for you. I always do until my heart is black and blue. I will stay. I will stay with you. We'll make it to the other side. We always do. Now reach my hands up in the dark and wait for yours too. Until I can wait for you. I'll wait for you. 'Cause I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, no, not yet. Even when I'm down to my last breath. Even when they say there's nothing left. So don't give up on me.
Oh man, I love it. We got green hearts.
I hope that wasn't terrible. I was nervous to do that. I was nervous.
That was awesome, dude. I didn't know you played. That's super cool. I don't know. I think a lot of people know. Some people don't know. I don't know if you know that I used to own and run a record label.
Wait a minute.
Now I feel like I need to start it back up again. Yeah,
have you heard of School of Rock?
What's that?
School of Rock, man.
Yeah, I know School of Rock.
I'm inspired.
That was one of our trivia questions yesterday during Brain Break was School of Rock. I'm a huge fan. That's actually how I met Chad and how this all started. I met Chad because I managed his band. He was a drummer in a rock band, and I managed his band.
Wait, so you're saying I can be your lead guitarist? Is that what we're saying?
Well, Chad and I have joked that we're going to, start the cliche band called After School Special. So, because prior to the label, I was a lead singer and played guitar in my band and stuff too. And so, yeah, I think we just recruited another one. So it's growing. The group's growing. We're gonna be like the E Street gang here in a little while. Like we're gonna have enough, we're gonna pull in. So,
it's funny. I do play the guitar. I taught myself. I was in a band in high school. I taught myself to play guitar. I was the singer. I didn't play an instrument then. I taught myself to play the guitar at 18, which means you don't have to start young. And I play a lot, but I've been playing a ton lately because I have an 8-week-old. And the only time that like I can put her down, I have like a little bouncy chair, and it's like a pedal. And she just bounces, and she will stay when I play. She'll just sit there and like stare in my eyes. It's the sweetest thing.
I love it. That's awesome, dude. That was really cool. I'm a fan. I don't play nearly as much as I want to anymore, but I still do play. I still have.
It's hard. It's hard.
I still have like 8 guitars. I just don't touch any of them nearly as much.
It's hard to play. It is. I actually have a group of friends that they ended up like getting together. A group of guys. We have a little playlist that we put together and we play. And I don't know. For me, music has always been something that I really aspire to be like Jack Black in School of Rock. Like I actually once did a performance in my school, and the students we wrote a school song to that song by Jack Black that they play at the end of the show. ACDC song. Riding down the highway. And we changed the song because our school was moving. And my students all like, we got like iron, and we like ironed the shirts, and it was ACBC, awesome class, Beck's class.
Nice. I
have footage of it somewhere. I have to dig it up. But what I did is I got my class to do it, but I gave like a couple of the students instruments, and they didn't know how to play them, but they just rocked around. And I had like, I played guitar and a couple other people played. It was hilarious. Like I literally had a kid who sat in the front and just gave like a bass, and he was like,
I love it.
I
love it. That's awesome. Yeah. That is cool, man. That is good time. When we can meet up, like we're gonna have to jam. We're gonna have to jam. It's gonna have to happen. Sure. So
I think we have to. You have to add it to the next Teach Better conference, a live show.
I sure feel like we're going that way. It just seems like Jeff Kaplan's mentioned that we can. The band needs to play at the Teach Better restaurant because that's supposed to happen at some point. And there's also a Teach Better bus that's going to happen at some point.
What about a brewery? Maybe a brewery. I mean, I think.
Well, I think that'll be
we
attached to
could
the
have him.
restaurant. I mean, naturally, that has to be
Absolutely.
attached to the restaurant, and more of Dr. Gupta in the back doing all the bourbon as well. So we got big plans, big plans.
There really is.
So that was awesome. Everyone's just loving it. The comments are blowing up with just loving that the authenticity of and the vulnerability. Just be like,
my hands were sweating. My hands were sweating. I had a pick in my hand. It kept slipping out. It was it was my debut. Next up, I'm going to bring on, hopefully Justin Bieber's watching, because or some boy band.
He typically doesn't miss these recaps, so he probably caught it. Justin, let us know what you think, man. Quick question on that, and we're going to get to the chat.
Yeah.
What kind of guitar were you hammering on there?
So I'm hammering on an Ibanez. It's nice. A little cheap one, but I have my other guitar. I'm actually out of my house right now. We're getting some work done in the house. We're staying at my mother's, which is a little bit away. So I had to sneak back into my house, and my good guitar is over there, which is an Alvarez. That's my favorite. But I also ran a program like 100 years ago where I wrote a grant to teach kids to play the guitar. So I have like 20 acoustic guitars in my classroom. I don't know if you ever heard of a guy by the name of Rafe Esquith. Old time, maybe like 15 years ago, he wrote a book called Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire. I didn't know who he was too. My mother was who taught for 35 years. My father taught for 37. When I first started teaching, my mother gave me this book by Rafe Esquith called Teach Like Your Hair's on Fire. It's an incredible book. I still use things from it today.
Interesting. That's super cool.
Yeah,
I'm a fan of Ibanez. I think Ibanez does a nice job, even when they're cheap. They're a nice guitar.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like I also I take my guitar to the beach. Like I don't take care of it. It's just I just need to have a bunch of them so that I can just grab one and play quick and take it traveling if I can.
I like it. That's awesome, dude. This is cool. Good stuff. Like you told me it was gonna be a first, and this was absolutely it was absolutely a Master Chat first. I mean, without a doubt. So I'm rethinking any future 12-hour live at this point. Like maybe we need an extra hour. Like we just do like it's like just becomes this concert.
You're gonna have like a lineup of guests now. Everybody's gonna come with their instruments. I know people play. I know Mark Warner's out there. I know
a lot of people do.
He plays the guitar. So, I know there could be a serious edu battle of the bands.
I think we're gonna have to relaunch the label at this point. Like we're gonna have to like a whole new division at this thing. I mean, it's gonna be crazy.
Well, you know what's funny is the way I remember to play songs on the guitar is the way I would write a song about something I'm teaching. So I have a song called Drip Drip Drip, the Circulatory System, and it's to Knock Knock Knocking on Heaven's Door by Bob Dylan. So cool. I have those versions of the song so that like I wrote a school song once, and it was to it was to like a Skid Row song, and it was like every rose has its thorn, right? Great song,
That's actually Poison.
Skid Row, Poison. That is, you're right.
I mean, they're basically the same, but
they're not basically the same. We can't do that. I'm gonna. My memory is terrible, but the point was I wrote a school song with.
That wasn't the point of it at all. That's super cool. We're gonna have to get all these songs on. We're gonna have to lay them down some point.
Yeah.
Get them out. Let's all right, let's talk about the chat because this was an awesome chat. And I want to make sure the awesomeness of what just happened doesn't overshadow the awesomeness of the chat that you led as well. How are you feeling about the chat right now? Like, I know when we first got you, like, man, my fingers are falling off, like, which is very, it's crazy. But like, how are you feeling after chat? Like, what's going on in your head right now?
Yeah, it's crazy. That was it. First of all, I tried my best there were so many people on there. It felt like there were so many comments, and it is a 1-hour race against the clock. And I always text out before I do a Twitter chat the picture of Jim Carrey doing the finger because that's what I think of when I see a Twitter chat is just. But there was amazing connections. The whole Twitter chat, the whole chat was designed in a certain way, and it does come from partially from like a couple different exercises in my book, and I kind of like took 1 and 2 from here and 3 and 4 from here, just to give everybody kind of like a taste of that idea. But most importantly, I remember I emailed you this morning. I was like, given in light of the certain events, should I change it? And I had to realize that when I made the questions, I didn't look at it with that lens of what if everything something breaks loose. And what happens today happens. Nobody would have expected that. So I had to re-look back at it from that focus. And you were like, well, we could change them. And I was like, well, you know what? I think we're going to be all right. You never know how people are going to answer the questions when you write them. I mean, you know how you're going to answer them. You maybe give it to a friend or two, but like once you see them come in, it was just, the whole thing was starting off with like right away, why do you teach? And the whole thing was designed so that you would be able to, the whole thing was designed so that you'd be able to just kind of walk through it and feel that purpose and feel basically you were scaffolded through your purpose. And it took you through steps of goal setting, you know, like how can I stay true to it? And then the other thing, the last two questions come from a method from Tony Robbins. It's called RPM. It's called rapid planning, rapid planning method. And it's basically, you start with a result, you start with the purpose, then you go to the purpose, you make your purpose about, and then you go through while you're asking yourself questions about the purpose related to that goal. One of the last questions you got to think of, which was the last question that I ended with, was the question, well, what if it doesn't happen? And what if I'm not true? Because a lot of times we always talk about what's going to happen when we do it and how we're going to feel. But the question is also that we have to think about is we have to think through, well, if what I really want in life is this, well, what if that doesn't happen? And what if I don't stay true to that? What's the consequences? And I think that's important to help you really root yourself in purpose and why you do what you do. And I think that was an important thing that I saw people really develop. It was amazing. I mean, I can't go name by name, but I can just say it was really impressive. And it does come from this book. Someone said to plug the book.
Yeah, so plug the book. There, tap them on that plug.
There it is.
You can get it right now, Jeff. It's out there.
Out there, Amazon.
I'll do an extra plug here. I got to stand up so everybody can see. The shirts are awesome as well. Oh, the shirts for sale somewhere? Can you get the shirt somewhere?
You can get the shirt. You can get a shirt and a signed copy of this book. And I write a very nice message because most of you I know, and I write a very nice message to you. And the book, you can get the book and the shirt together on my website. Link in bio. I think that's what you say, right?
On this, you can just say what the website is. We'll do that.
Okay. Well, it's Brandon Beck EDU. It's right there.
Okay, that's it. Gotcha. So it's his Twitter handle.com, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's not twitterhandle.com. It's Brandon's Twitter handle there that you see on screen.com. I just want to make sure I'm being clear.
I just want to make sure they go to the right place.
I feel like I have the I have the answer to this, but I like to ask this anyway. So like you were putting it together that you kind of laid out like a lot of what your thought process was obviously behind the questions. And I think I already know that this is the answer is yes, but do you feel like watching everything that people got out of this chat what you were hoping that they would take away from this?
Well, yeah, I mean, from my perception, yeah, of course. You know, the real answer in that is whether or not they, you know, you stay true, you find ways to stay true. And there was one question, I forget which question it was. Actually, I know I have it right here. Number 4, which was, what is your purpose statement as an educator? And I never do this in a Twitter chat, but I copied and pasted a response to as many people as I could. And I said, you should write that out and post that somewhere. Because it's really important for you to have your purpose somewhere you can see every day. I went on, I don't even know what the website was, but I bought a decal. I bought a 12 by 12 decal sticker and I stuck it on the wall in my classroom. And I always, and I say actually verbatim in my book, I say that you as the teacher, that should be like the play like a champion sign in the Notre Dame locker room when they walk onto the football field. Like, they touch it because that's their value. That's what they value to be true. And that's what their goal is when they walk out of that door. And I recommend, like, really, I read it every day. I have to. I walk by it. I read it. And I think it's important to do that because, especially during dark times, I was standing right next to that purpose statement right before my students walked in today. And I just read it. And I'm like, well, my purpose is to inspire and guide people to understand their infinite potential. And so if I believe in infinite potential, then when people walk in today, they're going to be okay to get uncomfortable with me. And in order to get comfortable or to make advancement or to grow or to bloom, we have to be able to be uncomfortable first.
I love it. I love that idea. I similar. It's not my purpose statement, but it's my vision with my why and stuff like that. I put it in the shower. Because I do.
Yeah.
I mean, you do a lot of the thing. You gotta laminate it, or else it doesn't work. But I have it a few different places and a few different formats, and that's one of the ones that I do because it's somewhere when I'm in there, like, you're thinking a lot in there, right? And you're not distracted because you don't have your computer, you don't have your phone, you're not working, you're just in there showering, probably singing if you're Brandon, I assume.
I'm gonna do that.
You know what I mean? But like that's a space. It's just one of those things. I don't remember where I got that. I'm sure I read, someone recommended, but I've done that for a long time, so it's always a fun one.
That's awesome.
So let me one of my two things that I want to do here that I always love doing with our moderators. One, I'm going to throw one or two of the questions at you. That's how we're going to wrap things up. But my first one is, of all the questions you laid out, and you were really, really thoughtful in the way you laid them out and the process and what you were hoping to get out, was there any one particular question that you were excited about or nervous about, I guess, whichever way you want to go, nervous or excited about seeing the responses to?
I'm always excited about seeing the purpose statement. I actually will go back through this chat, and also these also come from, I do use like parts of these questions elsewhere with other teachers, and when I do it, it's always an assignment for them to write a purpose statement. This actual purpose statement idea comes from Jack Canfield, the guy who wrote, Chicken Soup for the Soul. And he's an amazing motivational speaker. He's a preacher of The Secret and the Law of Attraction, him and Bob Proctor. And Jack Canfield he created a very simple way to write out your purpose. So that's where some of those questions came from too. So I always love seeing that because I will copy everybody's purpose statements today, and I will put them somewhere. Maybe I'll write a blog. Maybe that's actually a great idea. Maybe I'll write a blog.
Cool. That'd be a really cool
blog.
That'd be a really awesome guest post on teachbetter.com. I'm just saying.
I know, but I have to wait like 4 months now. There's too many.
No. You put that thing in, and then you email Carrie, and you said, Jeff said.
Oh,
Carrie will get you. You put that together. We'll bump it to the top.
I do have a blog coming out for Teach Better sometimes in the next 6 years, but
I know a guy. I'll put a word in. We'll make something happen. I'll call someone.
All right.
But by that I mean, like, ask Ray and see if she can do something for you. I don't know if I.
But it's a great thing. It's a great thing. Let's say
very cool. That's really cool. Yeah,
you have a lot of great writers. I love reading the blogs. There's a lot of great people who. I mean, it's a hard act to follow. Some excellent writers in there for sure.
We are bumping up how often we're going to publish too. That's going up again next month because we have so many amazing writers. Look, there you go. Boom. Livia. Get Livia. She'll make it happen.
Getting the contacts. Look at that.
She will make it happen. Which, by the way, if you're watching and you want to write, hit up Livia. She'll take care of you. So her and Carrie, what a dynamic duo. Like, yeah. It's still, last night with everything that happened, we started connecting as a team. We're like, we got to do stuff. We got to put something together. We got to try to support our team, our community and stuff. And the two of them just, grabbed all these different resources that we were all throwing. We were just piling them into a chat, like, wall that we have internally. They grabbed them all together and put that post out, and we're working late last night, and it was so I'm so fortunate to work with those two amazing educators right there. So Livia, there it is right there, but her email so she can get done. If you write that, we'll make sure we get that out though, man. That'd be really cool to put out, I think.
All right, let me put a little bit more on my plate right now. My wife will be excited about that.
You let her know that it was that Ray made you do it, and everything will be fine.
I haven't been home since I left work this morning, but so I'm sure she'll be happy with it.
At this point, like 3 a.m. You might as well just spend the night. I mean, just saying. So I'm going to throw one question at you, then I'm going to let you get home. All right. We want you to get home. Let's see. What do I want to do? Purpose statement. I'm going to let everybody go see.
Oh, you know what the thing was too is that really interests me as well was the question, why do you teach? The first one. Like, yes. What's always amazing to me, first of all, with that question and the purpose question, like some people use TweetDeck. Like I prefer TweetDeck because I use TweetDeck and I do a lot of mine so that I can interact with people during the conversation because there'd be no way I can do both. And so I always appreciate how people come up with those. And there's a lot of people not TweetDecking. And I'm always impressed with people that can stay up with it, and just get it on the spot. So people that are able to spit out their why, spit out their purpose, that's a really good sign.
Yeah, that means they got it somewhere. They're reading it, right? They're paying
They could
attention
have
to it.
ran
Yeah.
for the hills.
Well,
They could have ran for
but
the hills.
you also got to think. There's a really powerful piece of this is that some of those people that were able to spit it out like that may have never really thought through that,
I
and this
wonder.
made them do it, and they were able to type it out because they're
Yeah,
like, oh, I never thought, and here's what I'm
yeah.
feeling right now, and then hopefully, if that's the case, they're printing it out somewhere right now after watching this. So that's really cool. There's a lot of power there. So let me throw one. I'm going to throw out. I'm curious about this one actually. Because I don't know if I caught this one going through of yours. I don't always, you don't always see every tweet. I don't know if
Yeah,
I
no
caught
worries.
your answer to this one. I might have. But we're going to have you do it live anyway. What are 2 personal qualities you are proud to possess when interacting with students or teachers?
Yeah,
What
so
were
I
your,
have so many. I have so many. And
but you only asked for 2. You're only allowed to
I
give
know
2, Brandon. You
I
made the
I
rules.
can give you the ones that I gave on the answer, or I can give you now what I've thought of since, because now I've had some time to think and see
I want to
everybody
hear
else's
both.
thought.
Let's do both. I like both,
So
actually. That would be a
I
cool
first said
comparison.
passion and motivation.
Okay.
And so after thinking about it, no, I would say energy and enthusiasm, because I don't remember where I saw it somewhere, but it's the 3 E's, right? Energy, enthusiasm, and efficiency. Those are the 3 E's. So I would take the first 2 and I would use that, because for me, like, if I'm not energetic and I'm kind of like not moving around and I'm not happy about what I'm doing, then that's the first sign that something's wrong, right? I'm the
Mm-hmm.
kind of guy who teaches something to my students. Today I was teaching the prime meridian and the equator and the hemispheres, and I'm walking around and giving information, but I'm doing it with a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just freestyling. I don't have a song. I'm just freestyling, playing a tune, and I'm just keep repeating stuff over and over, because I think I don't know. It breaks up the day for me, and it helps move around. And I just try to think about what makes kids enthusiastic and what gives kids energy in what they do when they're when they're working. And that's obviously been challenging with the changing environments that we're in, with hybrid and no hybrid and remote and in person and whatever. But it's important to kind of stick to those 2 as well. If I look at it, because I don't remember who said it, but someone was like, for my students, it's this, for me, it's this, for my principals, it's this.
Yeah.
I have to look back, and I didn't really get a chance to look at people commenting to me much. I just kind of saw, I was trying to follow the A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7.
Mm-hmm.
I think I need to have a teammate in the next one for sure, because it just helps to know that someone else is getting to people, because I feel bad if I'm not like with them along the way.
A lot of our moderators will go back and drop back into the ones that they missed. I mean, you already said, you're going to go back and look at the, the different statements and stuff. And a lot of times that's what it is. Because what you'll find, Brandon, is a lot of time we have people that'll still chime in tomorrow and on Saturday and on Sunday, because they find it like, and that's one of my favorite parts, is when things pop up on like a Sunday morning. I'm like, someone's getting all the questions right now.
Yeah.
And thinking through this on a Sunday morning, it's just, it's kind of a cool part of the whole Twitter
what's
chat.
funny too is I didn't know what a Twitter chat was until like April. I never participated in one. I saw these A1s, these Q1s, these hashtags, and I didn't know why I kept seeing them. And then, I don't know, somehow along the way, I started to see, I don't even remember what my first chat I participated in, but it was a chat somewhere. And all of a sudden I started to meet people, and then I started to follow the leaders, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was really amazing, because now I participate in several, probably like 4 or 5 Twitter chats a week. But it's what keeps my fire going, and it's 30 minutes. It's, it's 3 questions, 4 questions, 7 questions, an hour, whatever it is. But it works for me. It works for me. And that's what it's all about, is finding what works for you. And, some people it may be yoga, and some people it might be CrossFit, and whatever that is, find what works for you. And that's how you live your purpose. And your purpose is an evolving thing. And I think that that's really important for us to remember, is that we're evolving, we're growing, we're changing, but we're always better together, and we can't do it alone.
I love it. I'm glad you found those chats and found your way to us, and we're here tonight.
I appreciate you guys.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everything.
Amazon.
Go get the book. It's on Amazon. Go to his site and get the book and the shirt.
Ooh, get the book and the shirt. And
that's what I would recommend.
Soon to be book, shirt, and Titus journal.
Oh, add in the journal too. I literally just ordered my journal.
That? I'm gonna add a 3-pack. We have a limited supply.
Look at that. I'm liking it. And Greenheart say that they're liking it too, so that's good. Man, I appreciate you coming on. You need to get home, serenade your wife to make it all better. I think that's what I would recommend personally. Yeah. Everyone who's in here, appreciate you all so much for being around and for being in the chat here.
Thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you so much. Brandon, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate everyone watching. We will see you all next week, same time, same place for Twitter chat next week. And have an amazing rest of your week. We appreciate all you.